And well, gentlemen, I want to ask you about are you seeing any pivotal or defining issue because we're talking about personalities and of course everyone is focused on the pandemic. Pero ano kaya yung magiging focus ng voters? Are they going to think about capability to deal with the pandemic actually? I mean, ano yung focus?
Definitely capability yan kasi ano pang aasahan mo sa gobyerno. You know, if there's any reason, no, if you are going to do a comparative study between the Philippines and the other countries, no, mataas palagi ang voting natin, no, yung mga tao na bumoboto, no, always reaches a significant number, no, more than 75%, no. Pagka advanced democracies ang pinag-uusapan natin, masaya na sila kung naka 50% sila na voting turnout. Bakit? Kasi ang laki ng inaasahan natin na pagbabago kapag may bago tayong Pangulo. At lalo ngayon, no, sa sobrang hirap at ngayon, pinagdidebatihan nga natin, itutuloy ba natin yung lockdown o i-open up natin? Yung mga gustong mag-lockdown, ang nakikita talaga nila, talagang sobrang dami talaga ng kaso. Imagine, reaching 23,000, medyo talagang unimaginable na itong level natin. Pero paano naman yung mga arawan ng sweldos? Ang hirap mong i-balance yun. Pero katulad ng binanggit din Tony kanina, wala pa akong nadidinig na kandidatong naglalabas ng issue eh. Puro mga strategy nila, kung sinong gusto nilang kaalyansa. Walang naglalatag ng plataforma nila.
Professor Manhit, are you seeing any pivotal issue?
On our part, we rely on data that we track, and we normally do this a year before election with social weather stations, Pulse Asia. So we do this question, what are the top issues? And you'll be surprised, COVID is number 7.
Oh, really? What's number 1?
It's a commission question on both. The number 1 is prices of basic commodities. Number 2 is jobs.
Pero aren't they related to COVID? They're related to pandemic.
They are. That's my point. It's related to COVID, but it suddenly takes a different form. People have accepted to live with COVID, but the reality of their day-to-day lives. But what's surprising was corruption goes into number 3. So they seem to see some assistance or ayuda failures maybe. And we asked this question in 2 separate surveys, 2 separate times, but in 1 month, which is June, both Pulse and Social Weather Station, because we wanted to see. Then we asked, what are the characteristics of the candidate that you're looking for in 2022? Of course, number 1, there's always that pro-poor, means may concern para sa kanila. Pero pangalawa, yung hindi corrupt, at pangatlo yung trustworthy. So, makita natin na may hinahanap yung botante. Of course, this is a year before election. Who can fit that profile or posturing by any of these candidates? But critical really is, I believe that given the data that we saw, a key issue is number 1, it's purely the economic issue will be top.
Tiyan pa rin.
And we can break it down into presyo, trabaho at kita, kahirapan at gutom, which are all related to COVID. No? But sa kanila, this is more important. Second is really corruption issue. As I said, our question was June survey. There was no COA reports.
Not yet, yeah.
So I can imagine what will come out if we ask this September.
Prof, if you can back up a bit.
The China issue will still be, I believe it could be an emotional issue if it's tied up to fishermen, to environment, because it has its own national following. If it's taken up, that means if it's brought up, it's not a top-of-mind issue, but somebody brings it up, nagkakaroon ng emotional issue. So people might look at those issues, I believe, and see who among the candidates can best address or has the best way to dealing with these challenges that they see as voters for themselves.
But I just want to add lang dun sa corruption. I think among the issues kasi, you have to define yourself, di ba? Like Duterte, for example, if you remember, kaya siya nag-move forward, nakalampas sa lahat, kasi na-define niya sarili niya na iba yung kanyang approach sa drugs, di ba? Well, everyone actually had the same approach to everything else. Di ba? Kaya Duterte would just say, gawin ko lang lahat ng sinasabi nila. Di ba? Kasi maganda naman mga programa nila.
Adapt lang siya ng ibang economic
Adapt ko lang
policy.
lahat, di ba? So, pero ngayon hindi na pwede yun. Kasi there are several issues na ma-define against the Duterte candidate, whoever it is, di ba? One is corruption. And I think that's gonna be the most kasi kung nakikinig ka today, like today, I listened to the Senate, di ba? Ang dami pang lalabas, di ba? This is epic yung corruption na pinag-uusapan dito. Epic, lalo na because it's a pandemic related, di ba? So yun yung isa. And then mga sub-issues like West Philippine Sea, hindi nila pwedeng tatakbuhan yan. Or human rights, hindi nila pwedeng tatakbuhan. Maaaring hindi importante yan generally, pero may subset of voters na yun yung issue nila, regardless of who is running, di ba? And people have to take their stand there. People have to take their stand there. I think, for example, hindi yan mga negative na people will not vote against you because you're strong on human rights, or people will not vote against you because you're strong on West Philippine Sea, di ba? That will actually be positives rather than negatives. But sa corruption, diyan talaga, that's where everything will fall, no? Kasi how strong are you going to be on that issue, di ba? Is going to be, I think, the biggest issue in this campaign.